Hello, welcome. Yes, I'm here. So I was just asking people here to join me live. Join me live. Join me live. I don't know if I should put that. Join me live on my daily. Yes. So welcome everybody and thank you for joining me. Come on in. Hello, hello. Let's see who's up, who's going. Good morning, Dwayne. Good morning, everybody. Whew. Good energy. It's a good vibe today. I think there's a lot of with a lot of the energies that have been coming forth, and with the sun and the moon gone into Pisces, there is a sense here of awareness or realization, and one of the harmonic energies that are coming in that I'm feeling very strong. Well, one is being honest with your life, being honest where you are and the road that you're on, and taking that honesty, like looking at, is this where I really want to be? Is this how I want to be living? If not, what are the choices that I need to do and make in order? And that's where I think, where if you're feeling a lot of heaviness, that's, coming in where it says you got to start being honest to where you are and where you need to take a risk and get curious. Curiosity is absolutely, part of this. Is especially in relationships. If you're not happy in your relationships, if something's coming to light and this isn't where you want to be, that's where I think where the honesty has to come in, and having and I think there's a lot of this nuances that's coming in with confidence within the collective too. So we got a lot of this energy that's coming to light. There's a lot of this even with this, with the Wuhan virus and stuff like that, there's a lot that's coming to light with all of this, or coronavirus, that people are in an awareness, and I think with the collective is coming to an awareness. And I think there's a lot there within our own personal lives that may be coming to an awareness of where you are upon your path, and being honest with that. And when you're honest with that, it's bringing forth that beautiful inner goddess, that awakening within you. And this is showing where we're seeing a lot of this light coming through, which is quite beautiful. And one of the things I wanted to introduce you today is bringing into the Archaea, and the Archaea is the female archangels, is the Archaea of serenity. And I was looking for something to do with, of course, it's Thanksgiving. There's Valentine's Day tomorrow. And the goddess Serenity comes in, and her spiritual rays, in which I found quite interesting, because her spiritual rays are the black ray of transcendent and potential. And so when I was looking into information, and I was looking at the astrology today about being honest to where your life is, was a big part of it. And part of that, and then the other part that came in is, if you're not liking where your story is, if you're not liking where your life is, this is where you have to come into that serenity, and you have to come into that light. And the serenity is the crown, the solar plexus, and the base root. And it's up to you to change your story. This is where she writes, "Thank you, fear, for showing me where I need to let the light in. As I relax, all softens for my serenity." Where do you need to let the light in? Because so many come to me and they ask, what am I going to do with my life? I'm in love. I'm not in love. My life is bumpy. I need a job. Oh, my job is crappy. Oh, this and that. This is where we have to come into a serenity, into a surrender of what is the story that I tell myself, and catching yourself into that story. The Arcana Serenity wants to write to you and say, I am fearless. And bringing that energy, of I am fearless. And acknowledging all the times where we faced a fear to help us clearly move forward. And many times our fears are worse in our imagination than they are in our realities. Our our woes in our life are worse in our imagination than they are in our own realm. And this is where this light, this beautiful energy, with a lot of this Aquarian energy is coming in to show us this truth and this light within our own selves. And this is partially what I'll be teaching next week, in my class. It's like, and one of the things is mastering your fears. So I want to talk a little bit, if you have a little bit of time right now, about mastering your fears and understanding your fears. Because with the goddess of serenity, when she comes in, she says, we suffer more often in the imagination than in reality. The stories we can conquer up in our heads often lead us to becoming self-paralyzed as we empower our fears more than our truth. Yet, help is at hand. So we have this beautiful energy of the angels coming down and being with us, in us, and around us, wanting to help us to step forward, to surrender with whatever fears that are going on in our life. And they are there. And you can call them in. You can call these beautiful angels in by just saying, Archaea of serenity, Archaea of serenity, Archaea of serenity. Be with me, in me, and around me. Surround me in all that your love and all of your understanding, and guide me to that of understanding. The counterpart to hers, the Archangel Cassiel. And Cassiel helps to illuminate fear by inspiring us to move through it. Shows us, because this is what's really going to, for next week, is that a lot of, say, our fears or what we've been, our obstacles are going to be coming forward in front of us. And we need to be able to face it, not run away from it, not turn a blind eye from it. But this is coming in with our light. And this is where this image that I see, where you're coming in and there's this beautiful light, your light glowing, and it's just blowing around like you're this big force of wind. And in front of you comes this darkness or this fear that you have, and saying, here I am. And you're just facing it with all your beauty and all your love. And this is where it comes in. Where there is light, there is darkness. Where there is light, there is darkness. So because, we're coming in and our beliefs get triggered, and a lot of our beliefs are getting triggered right now on how we think, how we see, what we believe, we get triggered on all of these things. And this is where, when we, are guarding me, many are guardians against the darkness or something dark. But in my heart, it doesn't, if you hold it to your heart, it may not feel right. So what am I protecting myself from? So if there's some darkness or something you're lurking from, or you're in a relationship and you're hiding from it, what are you afraid of in that? What are you not facing in this? And the energies that I'm channeling aren't dark or to be feared. Surely if I'm embodying their love and being in my heart, then no protection is needed. If I'm coming into my heart, if I'm coming into my love, and that's where this energy is coming in, is saying, come into this beauty of you. And why are you afraid? Is there a fear there? What is that fear? And Marianne Williamson talks about it's not fear of the failure, it's the fear of success, of how wonderful and beautiful and transcendent and we can be. And we get fearful of that. And with Archangel Michael coming in, he, coming forth and wanting to surrender and protect us. He is there. If you want to use Michael, call in Michael. But let's bring in a new one. Let's bring in Archangel Cassiel to come forth and share with us. And with the Archaea of serenity as one of the supreme angels, to help us, to help humankind to understand and to transcend. And when I ask if was there anything to be fearful of in the spiritual healing, and generally, the serenity simply said, fear itself. She shows, the fears that you carry. And sometimes we need to look at it. Maybe we're afraid of being alone. Maybe we're afraid, like, oh my God, if I, say you're to be successful, you earn great amounts of money. You do very well. And there's a fear like, oh my God, maybe I'm going to be asked to continue doing that. What does that mean? What does that feel like? And you're overburdened because it's like, I don't want to have that burden. I don't want to have the burden that people keep depending on me. There's a fear there. Crazy. But you could flip that around and saying, wouldn't it be wonderful that I'm able to provide for my family and my friends? And then I'm able to provide for myself, to wholly, fully supply for all my needs that I have. And this is when we look to our fears and showing you the fears that you carry. Such fear, putting your head underwater, or spiders, and being in the dark. If you can conquer these, you will never feel the need to protect yourself again. Because our fears are like those spiders or those snakes or those little things that you don't like. Those are our fears, right? And they're coming out. And this is allowing us to heal this part of ourselves, to come in and allow ourselves to open into that freedom of our heart. And, as the moon, the moon moves further away, we're into the now waxing energy coming out. We're coming out into this light. This is where we need to follow our purpose and live in our joy. And this is what we are emerging into. And the link between, and here, I keep on seeing spiders. So the link between spiders and serenity and the angel, for this beautiful angel energy, is is allowing to look at our very anxiousness about it. And what are your anxiousness about those little things? I mean, it may not be spiders. Maybe you love spiders. Maybe you love snakes. But there could be, this is what, looking at something that's basic. Start with the basic, because this is where we have to start being honest with our life. In order to make the changes, you got to start being honest. And that's where the angels are coming in and saying, you got to be honest. Look at that. Are you there? Are you ready to look at? Are you ready? That's the other part. Because if you're not ready to really fully look at it, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with that. It's just you honoring yourself, because that is looking at your life. You're saying, I don't really want to look at all of that right now. That scares me, and that's okay. It's not with judgment. The angels don't come in and judge. God does not judge. The goddess does not judge. They come in with purity and love to help and guide us. It is we who go through all that little gnarly stuff and the knots and the twists and the turns and all of that little stuff in order to get us to a point and to bring this in. This was very bringing in gratitude and bringing in that gratitude. So let us pause and look and connect with this beautiful light and with this beautiful energy of the archaea of serenity, and ask her to show you the fear you're carrying. So take a moment right now, wherever you are. If you're driving, please don't close your eyes, but take a moment right now. And I want you to put your hands on your heart. I love this part. You got to put your hands on your heart. Do a deep breath in and out. And ask yourself, call her in. Let's first call in the angel. Archaea Serenity, Archaea of Serenity, Archaea of Serenity, Archaea of Serenity. Be with me, in me, and around me. Surround me with all your love. Guide me. Call forth the Archangel Cassiel to come forth and do an outer shield of protection. And I ask you, the fears I'm currently carrying are, the fears I'm currently carrying are, hold it. Now, whatever answer, if you have a pen and a piece of paper, you can write it down. Take your hands, and just below your belly button is your hara. And I want you to put your hands there, left over right, and ask yourself, what are the fears that I'm currently carrying now? What are the fears I'm currently carrying now? What are the fears I'm currently carrying now? Take a step into your body, knowing that the angels are there, protecting, surrounding you, and ask the same question. What am I currently? The fears I am currently carrying are. The fears I'm currently carrying are. The fears I'm currently carrying are. All right. Feeling into them. These fears are giving me. What are the fears giving you? Go back to your heart. What are the fears giving you? Protection. That's the word I just got. I just got protection. So, protection. And you can go down to your hara. Do the again. These fears are giving you what? Stepping into that. What are the fears giving you? Because they got to be giving you something because you're keeping them. And then you can go, I choose to learn about these fears in order to break them down. I now surrender to Archaea serenity, whatever they have been giving me, excuses not to follow my dreams in exchange for feeling. So offer them. You can just take and you can just hand your hands out open like this and allow this energy to go out and go through you and say, you know what? Please take this. I surrender now to the angel Archaea of serenity to take these fears. And now I want to fill it with, what do you want to fill this with? What is that exchange in that feeling? When we give light to fear, it no longer seems dark and scary. And that's where this energy is. We lived in a year of total fear and unknown and what's going on. And oh my God, there's so many changes. And there's so many new steps we had to make as a collective consciousness that we've never had to make in our lifetime. And now we've made many of those steps. And into this newness and this new light that's coming forward. And it's bringing a lot of truth and a lot of honesty is coming through this. In many layers are coming in. Many layers is coming in. And this is where we look into it. And it's like, as I lighten the fears I was carrying, the sense of having to protect myself, lift it. Because when you have so many fears, you're trying to protect yourself from what? What are you protecting yourself from? What are you afraid of? What are you afraid is going to happen? Let's put it down. So this is allowing ourselves to come forward. Our over-lightning truth of understanding fear is that there's no lack of source in darkness. Within source, both light and dark exists. In order to live in harmony with our inner source being, we need to appreciate the darkness. We need to appreciate that dark. We need to face it in order for us to have more light. So spirit, who did horrendous things to themselves and others while they lived on earth. And true, there are those living physically now doing similar things. But we must understand that those souls have lost faith in their divinity. So attempt to take it from others. From past experiences, there could be of rape, of sexual assault. We're attempting to take away that light. Take away. So recognizing that they didn't know they were doing this consciously, but from healing the trauma, and this is going to help to heal your trauma. And it's not to dismiss what happened. It's not to make light of what happened if there's any trauma within your past, but it is allowing it to come to light. Allowing you to step into that light is only way to heal, so you are less afraid. And it's a practice. It's a process. It does not happen overnight. It is. It's just, you'll feel, the more you do it, you're going to feel more of that compassion. You're going to feel more of that healing. And you won't be condoning. You won't be, the thing is like, it's not, we're not condoning those crimes or any of those abusive, because some of this who listen to me you have psychological issues. You might have, great trauma that has happened in your life that has caused these issues. And now we want to start bringing them more to the light. And this energy that's coming into Gaia, this energy of transformation and transcendent, is allowing us to step more and more into that light. More and more, in order for us to ask for the help. Because sometimes when we're stuck in these areas, we don't want to ask for help. We don't want to reach out because we're afraid. We're afraid of judgment. We're afraid of shame. We're afraid of the guilt. And this is saying, no, come on into light. It's okay. It's okay. We don't want to, there's no judgment here. And we're coming with compassion and more heart and ultimately more humanity. When we can heal ourselves, we heal others. And that's where this light comes in. That's where this Aquarius energy is. This Aquarius energy is that of the collective. We want to heal the collective. And the more of us that start to do that, the more of us that start to step into this light, the more healing is done. The more of us that, and this doesn't mean to be an asshole. That doesn't mean for you to be walked over. That doesn't mean that you're the mat at the door that people wipe their feet on. That's not what this is. This is about stepping into your truth and being honest with your life. That's where it starts. What parts of your life that you're not happy with? You're not happy with everything? Please let us know, because we want to follow in those footsteps too, because we all want it. But what do we got to do? We got to be honest. I mean, we say we want certain things, and then we get what? We want these things? Yeah, we don't want to do anything about it. We just want them. Want them for what? What are they going to do for you? Because you're not working on anything in order to make the change. To make the change, we have to be honest and step into it. And step into that and being honest with your life. And the more you're honest with your life, the more you can allow the light in. The more you allow the light in, the more the changes come in. And you start walking that beautiful path. Can't do it unless you do that. Can't do it unless you do that. So this is courage is not the absence of fear, but the mastery of fear. And stepping in it. And if you have a desire to take your life beyond what has been before, then fear can still emerge. How can you choose to respond to fear, however, is what will dictate your experience. See it as a blessing, as it manifests only to show you where you have created or still are creating limitations for yourself. If you appreciate fear as an indicator of where you are restricting your flow, then fear can be a tool that serves you rather than ensnares you. So when we see those twists and turns that we go through, see that, you're empowering me. I'm getting more powerful. That means I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Wow, okay. It's pretty awesome. We go into this next week, starting next Friday, and working with the angels. And I love this because this is a transforming your fear into love. And that's what we want to do. We want to transform fear into love. We want to transform that so that we can come forth and be together. And as Maya Angelou, the poet, she said, we delight in the beauty of a butterfly, but rarely admit the changes it goes through to achieve that beauty. Think about where to be a butterfly, it was a caterpillar eating everything. Then it went into the cocoon in the chrysalid, but it had to go through all those changes and metamorphosis in order to get to where it is. How transcendent is that? How transcendent is that? That it has to break out through its cocoon. It doesn't stay there. It has to break out of it. And has to take a look. Wow, what happened to my body? It's like, one day you're in puberty, and one day, as a girl, you wake up, and one day it's like, holy shit, I got boobs. Where did these come from? You got a whole, whole summer, and then go back to school, and it's like your whole body changed over that summer. Things happen. It's a metamorphosis. It's us embracing. It is us really coming into and allowing for the healing to be. So when we hold our hands, fear, I form fear to love. I form fear to love. I form fear to love. I let go of grievances and I choose love. I let go of grievances and I choose love. Let go of grievances and choose love. It's your choice today. What are you going to let go of and step into? From fear to love, to balance the energies, the dynamics. That's where these energies are today, is do this transformation of change. If you're interested in wanting to do the angel readings or do the angel class this weekend, definitely get a hold of me. I put the special back up on my website. So if you are wanting, it's $75 off this weekend, because I solely really want people to start doing this class. This class is a beautiful one, and bringing in the Lady of Serenity and Cassie Bella, this beautiful healing influence, and bringing in it through the crown, our solar plexus, and into our root, to ground it. So sending you all so much love today. May the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you, and bringing in the Lady of Serenity to watch over and bless you, and allow for you to surrender your fears over to her so that you can shine with your beauty. Have a great one, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.